All, how are you? How warm is it outside? It's warm. Okay, it's great to be inside where it's a lot cooler and a lot nicer at the moment, even though it is the beautiful Verde Valley. I'd like to welcome all of you to the League of Women Voters Greater Verde Valley Candidate Forum for the candidates running for Yavapai County Constable, Verde Valley Region. And we're going to learn more about this job than most of us ever knew before. It's going to be an interesting forum, probably very educational. My name is Robin Prudhomme Bauer, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters and your moderator for this forum. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization. Our mission is to encourage the informed and active participation in government, work to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influence public policy through education and advocacy. The League of Women Voters is nonpartisan, and we neither support nor oppose any candidate or political party. This forum is wonderfully being videotaped this afternoon by Yavapai Broadcasting, Verde Valley TV, for showing on Cable 1, Channel 56, and Suddenlink Channel 2, and on YouTube at Verde Valley TV is the name under that. So before we get started, I please ask that all of you turn your cell phones to vibrate or off, and don't be like I was last time. As soon as I said that, mine went off. I had forgot to turn it off. So please do so. And if you want to Facebook or tweet during this forum, you're welcome to. Our hashtag is LWV Forums, FORUMS. So you're welcome to do both of that. Our candidates running for Yavapai County Constable are sitting here before us. We have Carlos Godina, Monty Reimer, and Jody Fanning. What they will do is they will spend 2 minutes introducing themselves to us and sharing information about their qualification, experiences, and expectation as our constable. Our timekeeper for this forum will be Mary Gassaway. She has 3 wonderful signs. She has the 1-minute sign, the 30-second sign, and the 2-minute stop, or the stop sign that'll keep all of you on task. As you're listening to the candidates giving their opening statements, think of questions that you would like to ask the candidates. We have 3x5 cards that are available for you to write a question down. It will come forward. Christy Descharme has them right there. So ask for one if you didn't get one, and she and Ellie Bauer will be grouping them and bringing them up to me so I can ask all of our candidates here to answer those questions. So as I said, this is a position that many of us don't know much about, so we're going to learn something and write questions, please, about what this job is all about, because we have 3 candidates who really want to run for this position. So with that, they have chosen their speaking order, and we will begin with Carlos Godina. And Carlos, what we've been asking is that candidates stand to give their opening statements or when they respond to questions, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're up.
Okay.
You can take that out, yeah, just like
Okay.
that.
I feel better when I'm standing anyways. I'm kind of a passionate guy. I got to just let it out sometimes. So my name is Carlos Godina. And what is a constable? A constable is the executive branch to the Justice Court. They're responsible for serving the Verde Valley community with serving criminal, civil, subpoenas, summonses. They also do the evictions, orders of protection. They do arrest warrants. They also work with the other local police departments. But it's also, to me, it's a very tremendous community-oriented position, job. I am running because I feel that the Verde Valley needs someone like me. They need someone that cares, someone that's compassionate, someone that cares for the youth, that connects with the youth. Now, community policing is a big deal right now across the nation. I mean, you're hearing, we need community police officers, we need this, we need that. I feel that the last 4 years being a community liaison for the sheriff's office, and I've also been, for the last 9 years, I've been a deputy sheriff. This last 4 years has really opened up a lot of doors for me. I've made a lot of relationships. I've seen my calling, and one thing, I have a lot more to lose because if I leave this job, I'm taking a leap of faith, but I know what my calling is. I feel strongly that God is calling me to do this job. I am a Christian man who runs and approaches everything through Him, and I'm always solid in every decision. 30 seconds. So, all these gentlemen running here, I respect them all, they're great men, and I'm honored to be here with them. But I feel that right now I am the best for the community. I am also Hispanic. There's a tremendous Hispanic community out here who speak Spanish. I am really the only peace officer that speaks Spanish that is bilingual, and I'm used all across the board. So thank you so much. I'll talk more later.
Thank you very much. Monty Reimer.
Hello, my name is Monty Reimer. This thing on? I hope so. Anyway, I'm a 30-year resident of the Verde Valley, retired from the Camp Verde Marshal's office after 21 years, and went to work for the Yavapai Apache Nation after that, so I've got law enforcement career on stateside and the reservation. Right now I'm the process server, probation officer, transport officer, and bailiff for the tribal court on the reservation right now. I have 3 daughters and my wife. We all live here in the Verde Valley. My kids went to high school here, one of them still lives in Village of Oak Creek, one's in Chandler, and one decided to move back to South Dakota where we came from in 1986. With my background as being the process server for the court, which is for the tribal court, which does the same thing. I serve all the criminal summons, the order protections, injunction prohibiting harassments. I serve the civil paperwork through the court. I think in the last 2 years that I've been doing the job, I've served over 1,000 different court documents for them. I've had very few of them that I haven't got done. I do the job with respect. I don't demand, I earn the respect of the people I work with and work for. I've got, I talk too fast. Run out of time. I run out of things to say. I've learned over the years that earning the respect of people makes it easier to do the job. You get more, you can do the job better. You get more success rate that way. The people that I work with and for, I've earned their respect, like I said, and I don't demand it. And I try to do the best I can, doing the best to respect. And like I said, like Carlos said, we know everybody. I started work the same time Jody did, approximately here in the Verde Valley. He started with Cottonwood, I started with Camp Verde about the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. And our third candidate is Jody Fanning.
Thank you. I'll try to be as brief as possible. Originally, I thought we had 3 minutes, so we're going to cut it down. First and foremost, thank you very much for all coming out here today to listen to all of us and let us tell you a little bit about who we are and what the Constable does. I'm running quite simply because while I may have retired from the Cottonwood Police Department, I'm not ready to stop serving the Verde Valley and its citizens. I believe with my knowledge, training, experience, and reputation as a hardworking and dedicated employee, I can give you guys a constable that you deserve. Now, who am I? I am currently the Verde Valley Constable. I was appointed by your Verde Valley, or by your Yavapai County Board of Supervisors in March after I retired. I just retired as the Chief of Police for the City of Cottonwood after serving 30 years, or nearly 30 years of dedicated service. During my career, some of my accomplishments that I think make me the best candidate are, I'm a graduate of the FBI National Academy's Executive Leadership class in Quantico, Virginia. I'm a graduate of the Arizona Project Central, which Diane Jones was a graduate of, which is for rural leadership. I was the chairman of the board for the Yavapai County Narcotics Task Force PANT team, selected and appointed by the chiefs and the sheriff of Yavapai County, who also endorsed me for this position. I was the board president for the president of the FBI National Academy. I was appointed by Governor Jan Brewer to serve on the Homeland Security Western Regional Advisory Council. I've served on many boards and appointments throughout my tenure as a police chief and as a police officer. But most importantly, one of my greatest accomplishments is in 2015, I was selected as the recipient of the FBI National Academy's highest award, which is the Lavalle Boccaccio Award, Memorial Award, which is presented annually to one officer out of 16,000 in the entire world, graduates, and it was for meritorious, dedicated, and committed work for my community. They flew my wife and myself to Seattle to present that award to me. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We did provide the candidates with a question so they can expand more on what they've just spoken about. And I'll start with Jody Fanning on this one is, since the position of constable is little known by the people in the Verde Valley, and this is your chance to tell us more about it. If you are elected as the constable, or re-elected in your case, well, he wasn't elected the first time, appointed and then elected as the constable in the Verde Valley, how will you carry out the responsibilities of constable?
Well, first and foremost, over there on the table by my signs, there's a packet, the Arizona Constables, what we are, where we came from, and why we exist. The constables are a constitutional requirement. They are in the Arizona Constitution. And I will carry out the role of the constable the same way as I did as a police chief, board member, and everything else with the PAMP board and the Homeland Security Board, with the utmost compassion, professionalism, dedication, and transparency as I possibly can. I believe it is absolutely important to be that way. I have always asked my officers when I was the chief to treat people the same way you would want your husband, your wife, your children, or anybody else close to you to be treated. And I believe that that's the best way to start off any conversation with anybody, even as a constable, because you will get things done much better and easier that way. I also understand, even though I've done 30 years as a police officer, that you have to be prepared for the violent outcome. But I believe that I still have all the training and experience to be able to handle that. I also will carry out everything, understanding that while it may seem small to me, it's very important to somebody. And I believe that you have to, even a small piece of paper needs to be handled immediately by the constable, not when they get around to it, as promptly as possible, because it is important to somebody. I also am adamant, and I do this right now, day in and day out, when I hand off a piece of paper, it is important to me not to just say, here, you've been served, but to try to explain to the person what the paperwork is, what they need to do next, and if there is anything that they should know about for recourses or anything else. I tell that to the people that I'm serving the paper on and the people I'm serving the paper for. I believe it's very important to communicate with these people. And last but not least, I always try to give them an opportunity to ask me questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Carlos, good evening.
Okay, so my qualifications is I've been a sheriff's deputy for going on 9 years now. In that job, I daily during patrol or even my assignment that I have right now, it is our job to serve paper, to serve a civil or criminal summonses. But to me, it's more than that. To me, it's more than that because this position allows you to be involved even more in the community. If I want to be a part of an action team, if I want to be a part of a club or any kind of a special event, I can be a part of that. And a lot of people do that. But one thing, when you see an officer come into a room, what do? Everyone's eyes go on him. Like, it's very catchy. Oh, there's an officer. But when you go to a school, which I'm involved in the schools a lot, or a neighborhood watch group or whatever, when you see an officer come in, they can see the compassion, they see the sincerity in his face, and you can see, you know what, this guy cares. This guy's one of us. I always feel that the constable should go back to what it used to be back in like the 1908, 1912 days. You remember when there was like chaos in the Wild West days, and there was one guy, lawman, judge, executioner. Well, then they created the justice of the peace. Then they created the constable. Well, the constable back in those days was like your normal general store clerk, your barber, the guy that now could be your baseball coach. It's someone from the community, someone that reflects the values of the community. I know without a doubt that I reflect the majority of the community. And I've been working hard to do this. This is something that I really want to do. I got 30 seconds. And, it's not just that, but there's also this, me as a police officer, there's this myth, well, you can be a constable when you're retired. When you can do that job, just kind of cruise. And that's not me. I'm just saying, I want to do a lot more than that. That I can, there's a lot of students out there, a lot of children. I'd like to do the puppets. I like to go involved with stop. Okay.
Yes, you can.
I love to do puppets, and if I can engage with these students with puppets, they teach them safety. That's rewarding to me.
Thank you. Monty.
Move this chair before I fall. Position of constable, what is it? It's responsibility to make sure that the people know what's going on through the court system, make sure that they get the paperwork that they need to receive, make sure that they get their court dates. It's just, respect and responsibility, dedication. Working for the tribe, it's hard to get accepted out there. And by showing them people respect and letting them know that I'll treat them the way I want to be treated. They're nothing different than I am. They're not below me. That's the same way you treat everybody. You got to treat people with respect, and if you treat people with respect, they are going to be there for you. They're going to come to the door when you go to the door and knock on. A lot of people don't want to do that. If they understand that you're there, not going to treat them any different than you are, and that they're not below you, they just made a mistake in life, and it needs to be taken care of. That's how I do the job. Constable's position is, like I said, it's pretty much what I'm doing now. I go to these people's house and try and get them to comply with their court dates, make sure they get their court dates set and their summonses issued. That way, I tell them, I don't want you to get in trouble. Let's just get this taken care of. And to go, the constable's position is something, I tried for this job in 2010 against Jay Parkinson, and it's a dedication and persistence. I'm going to keep going until I can successfully get the job. The people of Verde Valley I'm dedicated to. I love it here, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that they're just as important as anybody else.
Thank you. Okay, I've got a couple of questions. They're just flowing up here, so I'm sure. Huh? Oh, Jody. Excuse me, Jody.
I went
Yeah,
first.
you went first.
He yes, Mary.
She reversed
Mary's
it.
trying to, yes. She's supposed to keep me on task, isn't it? Thank you. I thought I was on task here. Anyhow, we'll start with Monty on this question. Talk to us about how you will work with the other law enforcement agencies in the region in your job as constable, if elected.
Talking with the other agencies, or working with the other agencies in town, I still know most of the people that are working, and even the young ones know who I am. I've been around long enough that, 21 years with the Marshal's Office and been certified since 1989. I went to the Yavapai College Reserve Academy. If you keep communications with them, with the other agencies, it doesn't matter which one it is. I've worked with them all. I know officers in every agency here, even the young ones I'm getting to know, like Carlos. He's only been on for 9 years, but I keep in contact with them. I work with the jail. I serve a lot of papers out the jail through the tribal court, and that's a good place to get into, because most of the people that we work with or deal with eventually end up going through the jail. They need to be served, and just by keeping good communications open and helping them out when they need help, and they can help me out when I need help.
Thank you. Jody.
Working with the other agencies is what I've been doing for the last 8 years as the chief of police. That was one of my fortes when I was the chairman of the board with the PANT team, was getting all the agencies to work together in regards to narcotics. So as I said, I am endorsed by most of the chiefs, or the chiefs and the sheriff of Yavapai County, so it's going to be really easy for me to work with them as it is right now. I know them. I've worked side by side with them. I know all the officers with Cottonwood. I know most of the officers with Clarkdale. I know most of the officers with all the agencies. I already work with them on a day-to-day basis as a constable, and I knew them when I was a chief. So working with them will be extremely easy. Working in the jail, again, my daughter is now a detention officer with the sheriff's office and works in the jail, so I automatically have somebody inside there that can help me work if I have to deal with something inside the jail. There's just a lot of things I can do to continue my relationship with the other agencies. I've been very proud of my accomplishments with the other chiefs. The new chief up in Sedona, actually the current interim chief, Chief Ron Wheeler, and I are very good friends. I don't know who the new chief will be up there ultimately, but I'm sure I will foster a working relationship with him as well, and the rest of their command staff. So I don't see any issues working with other agencies and the police officers. They all know who I am. They respect my training, my knowledge, my experience, and I know that they will do everything they can to help me to accomplish the goal, because ultimately whatever I'm doing out there is ultimately helping them, because it's keeping them from having to do the job that I'm doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Carlos.
I'm going to second a little bit what Jody Fanning said. I also, too, have been working with all the departments as a sheriff's deputy for the last 9 years, but also as a community liaison, the education deputy. But mostly me speaking Spanish and being bilingual, I'm always getting called, hey, Carlos, you know, if it's middle of the night or whatever, I make myself available to all of them at all times, at all hours. It doesn't matter to me. I'm very approachable, and everyone says, you know, they'll say, you know, I like Carlos. Everybody knows Carlos, and it's one of those things where, you know, I've earned their trust. I'm not the type of person that will talk behind their back. They see that I am sincere. They see that I'm genuine. And, you know, as a constable, if elected, Lord will, then nothing's going to change. But what I'll do more, even what I'm doing now, is I'm going to keep staying involved in the schools. That's something I can do. And you know, the voters are my boss, okay? Well, behind my wife just a little bit, okay? So, but that was supposed to be funny, it didn't work. But, but seriously, it's one thing I make myself even available to the community. Even, you know, one thing I used to be one of those moving men, you know, before I did law enforcement, and I am also a veteran. I want to let people know I served my country. And I was in the 40th Infantry Army National Guard Division. I did serve overseas in the Middle East. So, you know, there's a lot of also veterans as police officers that are veterans. So I have a lot of connection with a lot of community members and a lot of police departments. My endorsement is the Lord. Okay, my family, the community, that's my endorsement. The teachers, the parents, the coaches, players, coaches, those are my endorsements. So thank you. Time's up.
Yeah, time's up. We'll start this question with Carlos, talking about tell us how you would interact with someone who you're serving papers on. What's your approach? How would you work with them?
I'd be me. My personality, I think I got the right temperament for the job. In the 9 years, you know, I would say, I'm proud to say this, I've never been in a fight as a peace officer. Now, I've been in scraps and backed up other guys, but the thing is, I believe in verbal judo. You all know what judo is, right? Karate, martial arts. Well, I believe in verbal judo. You know, when I'm talking to somebody and I pick up on the nuances, I pick up on the negativity, I can feel that negative energy, I can right away, but I always pray. I pray before I go somewhere. That's just my thing, okay? That's my thing. That's just my approach. But when I meet with somebody, if I serve somebody, it's like anybody else. I talk to them, say, hey, how's it going? And they can see from my personality, my body language, they can see that I'm not there as a hard-nosed cop, because I'm not a hard-nosed cop. I've never been a hard-nosed cop. I'm very effective. I've always been very effective. Just coming across with respect, compassion, showing them sincerity. I've had, I'm sure a lot of people have, but I've always get compliments from the way I treat people with respect. I believe, like everybody, in the golden rule, but I treat everybody like the same way I want my mother or my father to be treated. You know, I want these kids, these children, these youth, I want them to see how I treat people, that I'm not some chip on the shoulder type of cop. I never have been that way. I got 30 seconds. So, one more thing is there's a lot of resentment towards police officers right now, and I think they would all agree with that. We're going to have battles. We're going to have scuffles, but I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to come home at night with my family, and I'm going to treat these people the most respect I possibly can. That's it.
Thank you. Jody.
Could you go ahead and repeat the question again?
Can you talk to us a little bit about how you would interact with somebody that you're serving papers on?
Again, as I said earlier, I work off the principle of talk to them, treat them with kindness, kill them with kindness, and work from there. Treat them the same way I would want my wife or any one of my children or my father to be treated. And I found throughout my years that that's the smartest and the best way to do it. I also have learned throughout my years that the same as mentioned earlier, the rookie officer, don't run into a fight that you don't have to run into. Now, I can't say that I've never been involved in a physical altercation. I served 30 years. I've been in fights, and I've dealt with it the way I had to. No more than I had to, but the way I had to. But I've also learned that there's no reason to run into a fight if you don't have to. That's why I commend firemen. They run into fires. I'm not. If I don't have to run into the fight, I'm not going to. I'm going to step back, wait until I have the people and the ability to deal with the incident the best I can with the least amount of force. Too many times I see people that'll just walk up there and knock on the door and get in an argument to serve a piece of paper. You don't have to do that. Wait. Catch them driving down the road, follow them to a grocery store, walk up to them. If you know they're already going to be aggressive, don't force the issue in a location you don't have to. And give them every opportunity to have freedom. Don't corner them, and then when you're done, make sure that they have an opportunity to ask you or give you any statement that they want. Some people, they just truly do not understand what's going on. Some of the paperwork I've already had to serve, the people truly just do not know what this is all about and why they're being served. So I take the effort to stand there and make sure they understand what it is that I'm giving them and what they need to do. The evictions are the same way. Yeah, I'm only required to give them 15 minutes to get 3 days worth of property out of the house before they leave. That's common for me to stand around for 30, 45 minutes, an hour and wait for them to get the stuff out of there, because I'm just not going to make these people do that. I stood in Rimrock just 2 weeks ago when it was 116 degrees or whatever, and I stood out there for an hour waiting for that family to get out of the house. Give them compassion and time. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Monty.
Question one more time.
That's okay. Talk about how you would interact with somebody you are serving papers on.
With respect. Treat people with respect. I may be nervous up here because there's a few more people here, but to talk with person to person, I like the gift of gab. I've been doing this job, or been a certified law enforcement officer since '89, and I don't remember a knockdown, scrap-out fight that I got into. I'd rather talk you into something. I've talked people into giving up their guns when they're trying to commit suicide. But the gift of gab is what I really rely on. It's just people, like Jody was saying, a lot of them don't understand why they're getting served. You got to take time, explain to them what's going on, and let them know that this is your chance to go to court. You're being summoned to court or whatever. It's your chance to go and explain to the judge what's going on, and let him make the decision what the final outcome is going to be. What you got to do, you got to sit down with these people or stand there with them. If it takes 5-10 minutes, whatever. And as far as evictions, I've done those. Not as far as evictions, but I've served the paperwork at the tribe because they do a little different out there. And you just got to explain to them. And most of them understand what's going on. They just, some don't want to admit they understand it, but they know why you're there. They know the process that they've gone through to get to the point where they're at. And it's just, you got to treat people with respect. And that's just the easy way to get across to them. If you treat them the way you want to be treated, they're going to respect you also. Thank you.
Thank you. Monty, just stay standing because this one will come to you right now.
All right.
Okay. How does your past and present involvement with the community help you complete your job on a day-to-day basis? Working
with Camp Verde for the 21 years I did, I knew everybody. They all know who I am. And working with the tribe, it's the same people that I worked with, had dealings with when I worked with the Camp Verde Marshal's office. I had one, the respect I've earned. I keep going back to the respect that I've earned over the years and the commitment I have to the community. I've done my time coaching wrestling at the high school. A lot of the parents still know who I am. My kids all played sports through the high school. All the teachers know who I am. They know my family. And just, I don't know what else to say on that one because, it's the respect that you've earned. Being in the Verde Valley, dedicating my whole career to the Verde Valley. Maybe not in Cottonwood and whatever, but when I worked with the Marshal's office, we would back up all the different agencies in the area. When we first started, we'd drive over to Cottonwood here. We'd drive out to the areas of the county to help out there. It's just being dedicated and being respectful and prompt and getting the papers out as fast as I can. That's about what I do. I don't know what else to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Carlos.
Question again, please.
Yes. How does your past and present involvement with the community help you complete your job on a day-to-day basis?
Okay. So, I used to be a very timid person, believe it or not. I used to not like confrontation, and I used to not be able to look someone in the eye when something serious was happening. But that's changed. Before I became a police officer, there were some things that I had to go through because I knew there was a calling. I always wanted to be a peace officer. And I knew, I'm just not ready for that. But I had to go through things, so I had to go through trials to make me stronger as a person, character, all those things. So through those trials and tribulations that I've gone through, I can relate to a lot of people, what they've gone through, whether it's death, hurt, because in my job, you see a lot of people that, they lost their loved ones or suicide or something as small as a lost kitten, whatever it is. And I've developed that experience. I've developed that connection with a lot of people. I've always been able to connect with anybody. That's just the way I am. If I see someone real serious, looking at me real serious, I'll tell them a joke. They may not laugh, but at least to me, I tried. I try to do whatever I can to break that ice. So, also how this will help me with my job is, I feel I bring a freshness, a newness to the constable job. It's. In Washington, you hear, politics as usual. They have no connection with us at all. It's the same, I feel, in smaller communities. It's just broken down a little bit. I feel that through my can't even talk now, my past experiences, that I can connect with people, that I've been through what they've been through, and that they see me and say, hey, you know what? He's not your typical cop. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jody?
Well, I'll start with my experience and my ability to work with the community. If you go over to the Cottonwood Police Department, you'll see a police memorial statue and a police canine statue that I was the chairman, and the idea behind building this statue to commemorate police officers and canines. I chaired that board, and through my work with the board and the community, we raised several thousands of dollars to build those memorials for the police officers and the canines. None of this was taxpayer money. That's my relationship with the businesses and the community around here. They know me when I come to them, that what I'm telling them is the truth, and that they're willing to work with me. As far as a lot of the other businesses, my experience and work with the youth in Little League and in football and in soccer, I'm very well known. If you go down to Little League fields, for many years, several years, they called me Mr. Miyagi, and actually they had that on my tractor. The sign was Mr. Miyagi, because I would get up at 4 o'clock every morning and go down there and drag and prep all 4 softball and baseball fields for the Little League kids to play on every day. Then I would go home, take a shower, and come to work and serve my time at the Cottonwood Police Department. That respect I gained from all those parents and coaches down there because of my volunteering and dedication has made it much easier. A lot of those people are business owners, and again, they know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the mission accomplished for them.
Okay. Thank you. Stay standing, Jody, because you're going to be first on this one. Does the position require leadership skills? If so, what are they? And what in your background qualifies you for this job?
Does it require leadership skills? Yes. You are a constable is a team of one. I have no employees. I have no boss. So I have to be my own self-motivator, my own employee, my own budget analyzer. I have to do everything myself because I don't have anybody to do that. So yes, you have to have leadership qualities. What leadership qualities do I have? Again, I'll go back to my graduation of the FBI National Academy graduate for executive leadership. To be even accepted into the FBI National Academy is only 0.5% of the cops in the world ever get accepted into that academy. And I was accepted and I graduated. Then I was given an award by that same group for my leadership, my dedication to the community. So yes, you have to be a leadership. You have to have leadership. My leadership was also pointed out by when Governor Jan Brewer appointed me to the Homeland Security Board. She knew that I had the ability to do what it needed to be done at the Homeland Security Advisory Council, and when it came to handing out money to police agencies all over and to combat terrorism. She also appointed me to the Arizona Counterterrorism Information Center, which is down in Phoenix, which deals with all terrorism acts throughout the state of Arizona. Those are some of the leadership qualities that I bring.
Okay. Monty.
Constable's position is a department of one, like Jody had said, but the constable is elected by the people of the Verde Valley, and that's who I've been responsible to. They're the ones that can elect you again, the ones that can elect you again. So, you know, I would be responsible to the citizens of the Verde Valley here, Cottonwood, Sedona, Village of Oak Creek, Cornville, Rimrock, Lake Montezuma, Camp Verde, Clarkdale, and Cottonwood, Jerome, and all the unincorporated areas out here. That's who my boss is. They're the ones I'm responsible to make sure that I get the papers served to the people that need to be served so they can make their court dates and make sure they take care of their responsibilities in life. As far as my background, 10 years sergeant with the Camp Verde Marshal's Office. Right now, at the tribal court, have the most experience there, so they all look up to me to get things done. When the last bailiff was removed from his position, they gave it all to me. They felt that I had enough qualifications and enough responsibility, enough dedication to get all 4 jobs done adequately, timely, and respectfully. I've coached soccer, and I coach high school wrestling. I had leadership there making sure the kids make their weight, make sure the kids got to the bus on time, make sure they got to practice. Leadership, I've raised 3 daughters, and that's, if any of you got kids, that's the hardest thing to do, is raise 3 daughters and make sure that they make it through life without being in trouble, arrested, whatever. So that's pretty much my leadership and everything. Thank you.
Carlos.
Okay, so what leadership? What motivates me to be a leader is my family. I've been married for 17 and a half years. So I know how to work things out. But my children motivate me. Being in the military also, when you get pushed, when your sergeants or whoever push you to go beyond what you think you can go, you go there further, and then you can go a little further than that. But also another thing is humbleness. I know you humble. How could you be a leader if you're humble? Well, the leaders lead by example, right? And they have to be able to admit that, hey, I screwed up, guys. I screwed up. So I believe, and that's the toughest thing in the world, is to tell your kids, sorry, kids, I screwed up. That is tough. But, another thing is, in the community, what is it that the community needs? They need more leaders. They need people, they need more peace officers or people in a constable position to be able to be looked up to be approached, and be able to say, hey, you know what? This guy helped us out last time. He's approachable, and he's a person that knows this family, and he helped out with this family. I want to say something real quick. This is the kind of person I am. I've had people that were hiding from us, and with warrants or whatever, but a sister, family, member, whoever, hey, call Carlos. I think it'll go down peacefully, because he's respected. They know him. And I've had a lot. I don't like to toot my own horn, and my wife hates it when I say that, because there's a ban for that. But anyways, there's a thing that my family is what motivates me to be a strong leader. So that's why. Time's up. Can't finish it.
Thank you. Just stand, Carlos. You're next up. I've just got a couple more questions, and I think we'll go to closing statements, because I think unless there's other questions that come up, I think we've covered almost the waterfront here. Is there a public education component to this job, or a community education component to this job?
I got to explain it more, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Believe me, I was going to explain it more. Yes, there is. What I've been doing for the last 4 years, I've been in law education, and that was a position that opened up in the sheriff's office. Nobody applied for it because I don't think they took it serious. To me, you could tell a lot about a person. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. What do I treasure? Who do I treasure? It's children, youth, families. I love to put on a mascot sometimes and dance around and do whatever I can, because you keep these kids engaged, because the children, they are our future, right? And right now there's a lot of lost souls out there, and there's a lot of kids that have seen me, or I walk into a school and they say, what's this Hispanic guy being a cop for? He's a cop and he's Hispanic? I will tell you, there's a tremendous Hispanic community out there, and what I do is I go there and I show these kids, even the minorities, all kids, it doesn't matter. All lives matter, first off, I just want to say. But, it's one thing where you go there and they can see, and they can, all of a sudden, you break that ice. And then you can start talking to them about, my goal is to show kids that it pays off to have a law-abiding lifestyle. It pays off. And yes, we can do that, and I plan on doing that more. I mean, I'm not getting rid of my puppets, just so you know. I have like 8 different characters, one for gun safety, one for stranger danger, one for, situational awareness, all those things. But yes, this is why I'm doing it. I'm not doing this job just because I'm I'm not leaving the sheriff's office just so I can serve paper. I'm doing this job because I see the potential. I see that I can do a lot more for the community. What is it the community needs? The community needs compassionate officers, people that are just like them, that can be there for them in their time of need. So that's it.
Thank you. Monty,
And one more time with the question.
is there a community education component to this job?
I really don't know if there is or not. You know, as far as the community education component to the job, the best way to learn is to ask. If you have any questions on the job, just ask me. You know, I can tell you as much as I know. And if I don't know it, I'll find out about it. As far as going out and giving classes or talking to people on the job of a constable, we could do that. It's something that I don't think there is one, but we could set something up to do it. The community education is you don't know much about the job unless you've been served by somebody, by an officer. So that's basically how people find out about the position and what they do. You can go online and read about it. As far as like I said, as far as classes or something that that's out there that's open right now, nothing I've heard of.
Okay. Thank you. Jody.
Currently, there's not a public education. However, myself and the other Yavapai County constables have already begun working on a public education component. One of the first things that we've done is that our new constable cars are going to have constable markings all over them. So when people see us driving down the road, they see a constable. So they're going to know, you know, they're going to be asking questions about it. The other thing that we're working on is a ride-along program for our media to come right along with us and find out what we do. I think there's more things that need to be done. I know that it's not going to be extremely easy. While I appreciate the idea of going into the schools all the time, right now I'm running close to 40 hours a week just getting my paperwork served. We have a new computer program and everything else. I intend to do more, but right now there's not enough time in the day to be able to do all these things. Some days I'm even coming back out at 5 or 6 o'clock at night just to go serve paperwork because some people actually work out there and they're not home during the day. So I got to come back out at night and go find them and serve them. So there's not a lot of free time in the day. However, anybody that has ever contacted me and asked me to speak to them, I've been more than willing to come out and speak to them. I do believe that we need to become better at it. That's why one of the reasons why I brought this little flyer here that gives you a little bit of an idea about what it is. And if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a video, 15-minute video, and it's Jody Fanning, keep Jody Fanning, Verde Valley Constable. There's a video about what constables do. And I think that needs to be brought out because the people don't know what constables do, and it is actually an important role that we play every day out there. If we aren't out there doing what we do, then you're going to be taking police officers off the streets. So I think it's important for us to continue to educate the people, and that's one of the things I will be continuing to do.
Okay. Thank you. Monty, what differentiates you from the other candidates, and why would you be more effective as a constable?
What differentiates me? Been doing the job basically for the tribe for the last 2.5 years. Being a probation officer over there and the court process server and bailiff and transport officer, I've been doing the job. I've done it for 2.5 years now, serving the same kind of papers, working with the same people that everybody else that work with around the county here, or the area. Served a lot of papers around the marshal's office. I've gained respect and earned the respect of everybody that I work with. I've got even convicted felons that come back to me and tell me that they're glad that I arrested them, that they've changed their lives. I'm not very good at this public speaking thing. Whether talk to you one-on-one, it's much easier for you. I feel really tense up here right now.
You're doing okay, Monty.
You're doing fine. You're doing good.
We don't bite, okay?
Yeah. It's just the years of dedication I put into the Verde Valley here. Working with the marshal's office through thick and thin over there, we had a lot of changes over the years, and the dedication I had there, in going to work for the tribe, being a non-native, working for a tribal entity is tough to get accepted. And being able to earn the respect of those people that I work with there, I've earned the respect of a big portion of the valley here by doing that. That's what makes a difference between the other candidates. We all got experience in law enforcement. Like I said, Jody and I, we started about the same time in the Verde Valley here. Carlos, I just met him a while back, and I'm sure talking with other people I've talked to, he's got a good reputation and he does the job well. I've got 20, since 1989, I started with the fledgling department, earned the respect all the way up with the citizens, and still have them calling me now, even though I'm not in law enforcement as a police officer. They have the respect to me, know that if they call me to tell me something, it's going to get done. Thank you.
Thank you. Jody.
You're going to have to repeat it. He talks too much. I'm kidding. Get it for somebody that doesn't like public speaking.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm more relaxed.
The question again,
What
please.
differentiates you from the other candidates, and why would you be more effective as constable?
Well, first and foremost, what differentiates me from the other candidates is I am the Verde Valley Constable. I was appointed by the Board of Supervisors when they seen everything that I bring to the table. I am the one that they picked to be the Verde Valley Constable. So that's the first thing that differentiates me. Then my training, my experience, my knowledge, and my connections within the rest of the Verde Valley make me a much more viable candidate. I know a lot of people. I've been here for almost 30 years, coaching, working, visiting, being involved in civic groups, little league boards. I was one of the first board members when we got girls softball into Verde Valley. I was the board member that brought it in. So I've got a lot of people out there that I know that makes me different than the others. And how will I use it to, can you finish the last half of the question again?
It's how would you be more effective? Why would you be more effective as constable?
Those things alone will make me more effective because I have those kind of contacts and people. I can call people and say, hey, I'm looking for so-and-so. I've tried to find him on Facebook. I've tried to find him in the newspaper. I've tried to find him everywhere, but I heard that he was working for you. There's a lot of people in this Verde Valley that I know that they will tell me, yeah, Jody, he's working over here, or he's doing this. It's already paid off for me several times, where brothers have actually told me where their other brother is hiding, because they know me and they trust me. So because of my years' experience and my reputation of being an honorable police officer and a leader in the community, these people trust me and they give me every opportunity to do my job the best I possibly can.
Great. Carlos.
Okay. What differentiates me? Well, I will say I was honored to be approached by a couple of the other constables on the Prescott side because they felt that I had a quality of character to do this job. I wasn't appointed that day, but it was very tight, and I didn't give up. Okay, here I am today. I went out and I put the work in to be on the ballot, this year's ballot for the primaries. Now, another thing that differentiates me is I am American. I'm a Hispanic American. There's a big, tremendous community out there of Hispanics in the Verde Valley, tremendous. And I can speak Spanish. So when somebody needs some clarification on whatever issue, whether it's a question on serving paper, which I've been through many times. I've assisted the previous constable countless times because I am bilingual. And it's my personality that usually calms the situation down too, that helps too. So another thing is I'm a veteran. I've served this country in the military. I was in the Army National Guard and my unit got activated and it was an infantry division, and I'm very proud to say that I served my country. And I'm very, very involved with people that are veterans, that are hurting, that are also seeking help or whatever avenues they need. I try to help them with that area. Now, how I'll be effective? Well, how I think I'll be effective is I see a need and I try to go do something about it. You know, you hear this term, well, you know, there's a scripture in the Bible, well, anyone could pray for somebody, and I'll pray for you. I know you're going through that. Well, I'm the kind of guy that follows through. For example, you know, Beaver Creek, Rimrock, low-income area. A lot of Hispanics in that area, too. Well, I saw to myself, you know what? There's a need over there. So what I did is I changing offices so I can be over there and be involved more in the youth. So that's what how I think I could be effective.
Actually, that was very good, all of you. At this moment, we're kind of wrapping up. If there's any questions that anybody in the audience would love to ask the candidates and they haven't, I will take an oral question. You can raise your hand. And if I don't see one, we'll go to closing statements. Look at that. We've learned everything we needed to know about Constable.
We did our job.
With that, we'll go to closing statements. We'll begin with candidate Jody Fanning.
First and foremost, again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out here and giving me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about who I am and why I would be the best candidate for the Verde Valley Constable. In this constable election, I am the constable with the most extensive training, experience, and as well as ethics, integrity, and dedication to serve in this position. The Yavapai County Board of Supervisors saw everything that I bring to the position of constable when they selected me, and I hope you will too. Yes, I did just retire from the Cottonwood Police Departments, but not because I planned on sitting in a rocker on a porch, but because I feel as a police chief that you should not serve more than 8 or 9 years before you step down and allow somebody to come in with new ideas and new concepts and move the agency in a new, different direction. The constable position is the best way I can continue to use my experience, my training to serve the citizens of Cottonwood, which I believe is incredibly important. However, to serve both the court and the citizens, I will be recalling on all of my training, experience, knowledge, and contacts. You may hear that you don't have to be a police chief to be a constable, and that may be true, but all the training and experience and knowledge that it took for me to work my way through the ranks and become a police chief is going to make me the best possible candidate for Verde Valley Constable. It takes that level of dedication and everything that I bring from my 30 years of police work to give the citizens of the community the constable that they deserve. I am the best candidate for the Verde Valley Constable because I am the only candidate that brings all of that to the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Monty Reimer.
In closing, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Makes me the best candidate. You know, like I said, I've done this job for 2.5 years with the tribe. My dedication to the Verde Valley is, it's just I could have went other places, but I love it here. I want to continue serving the people of Verde Valley. Having the connections I've got with both ends of the spectrum here, you know, as far as the people that I've arrested over the years, they respect me. I treated them with respect, and by doing that, I can receive information from them daily. All I got to do is call somebody, and they can tell me where somebody's at. I get a hold of my daughter who lives in South Dakota, and she checks Facebook for me. She calls her people and tells me where people are at. I never was a police chief. I was a sergeant for a long time, but it's the connections that I made on the everyday patrol, contacting people, stopping to talk to somebody, show them that, I am as good, I'm no better than you are, and you're no better than I am. You made mistakes in life, and so have I. You got caught, I didn't. And we all in that same boat. Every one of us have made mistakes in life, and we haven't all got caught doing them. But just the respect that I've earned from the people and the contacts that I have, that I still have people calling me because they trust me. I think that's what makes me a good candidate. Like I said, I've done this job for 2 years on the tribal side, and to earn the respect of the Native Americans in this valley it's tough. They don't accept everybody, and they won't open their door to everybody. And most of the time, it works well for me. I earn their respect, and they open the door for me. And I'll do the same job for the citizens of the Verde Valley. They're the ones that elect me, if they elect me, and they're the ones I'll be responsible for. R2, thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Carlos Godina.
thanks for showing up, everybody, and taking time out of your day to listen to us today. Thank you to the other candidates for being here too. You know, naturally, I've always progressed in my life. I try to better myself. I try to see a need and I try to help it, try to be there for the person, whoever it is. So those characteristics and those traits I bring into my job, and it doesn't also have to be someone from the community. It could be somebody that I work with. You know, all it takes time. It just takes somebody to notice a need. But for this job, I feel that the Verde Valley needs me right now, because there's a lot of hurt out there. There's a lot of people that need, and I could talk about a constable all day. I've done that in my job, in my sheriff's office. I could talk till 12 o'clock at what they do. But I've always been a hard worker. I want to provide better for my family. I got 3 kids. I got a baby on the way. So it's just something that I see that I try to provide. I want to provide better for my family. Sorry, I'm getting nervous, so now I'm kind of forgetting everything I want to say. So I got to make this strong statement. Last word, but I'm not going to stop with the youth. I'm not going to stop with the kids. I'm going to still keep serving paper. I'm going to do the job the best. I'm not in this job just because I want to serve paper. I want to do more. Okay? There's $1.8 million, I don't know if you know this, worth of warrants out there in the county, all in the county. I want to do my part. Hold them accountable. Justice is a big thing for me, in my heart, justice. It's big in the Bible, too. So anyways, thank you so much. If you like me, you won't regret it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause to these 3 candidates. I'm sure it's not a position any 3 of you thought you would have to be at a candidates forum about. But I really do applaud them for coming here and telling us what it would be like for them to be our constable and represent us in our community. And I do appreciate that very much. And thank you for the questions. I know a couple of them were my own, but that's okay. It's okay. I learned a lot about the position today. So on behalf of the League of Women Voters, Greater Verde Valley, thank you all, candidates, and you, the audience, for your attention and participation. And just want to tell you, Election Day is around the corner. The last day to register to vote is August 1st. And early ballots will be out on August 3rd. If you are a non-designated registered or a Republican, or not Republican, independent, you can tell it's been a long afternoon for me, non-designated independent, you can vote in the primary election. Remember, because we just have 3 candidates who are Republican running for that position, the primary is the election for them. They will not be running again in November. That election will be over then. For independents, if you early vote, you can request your party ballot from the county for your early ballots. If you go to the polls, you just tell them which ballot you want, whether it's Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian, I believe, if there are any candidates. I don't know if there are for sure. So you will designate that so you can vote. That's the most important thing. And with that, thank you all for coming today, and remember to vote. Have a good afternoon.